She's not having
Can you
it.
play this one?
Yeah, so this is Yuri Bezmenov. He ran the ideological subversion campaign for the Soviet Union to ideologically subvert the United States during the Cold War, and he eventually defected and shared everything that he had learned and what they were doing to help the West because he obviously became very disillusioned with the Soviet Union and realized it was just, built on a foundation of lies. Lies, damn lies. Let's see what he's got to say, John.
Subversion in Soviet terminology means always a destructive, aggressive activity aimed to destroy the country, nation, or geographical area of your enemy. This activity is overt, legitimate, and easily observable if you give yourself time and trouble to observe it. Subverter is a student who comes for exchange, a diplomat, an actor, an artist, a journalist like myself was 10 years ago. The highest art of warfare is not to fight at all, but to subvert anything of value in the country of your enemy until such time that the perception of reality of your enemy is screwed up to such an extent that he does not perceive you as an enemy, and that your system look to your enemy as an alternative, after which you can simply take your enemy without a single shot being fired. The tactic of subversion is similar to the martial art, that if an enemy is bigger and heavier than yourself, it would be very painful to resist his direct strike. The Chinese and Japanese tells us what to do. First to avoid the strike, then to grab the fist and continue his movement. If it's a free democratic society, there are many different movements within the society. The moment all these movements will be directed in one direction, this is the time to catch that movement and to continue it until the movement forces the whole society into collapse, into crisis. We don't stop an enemy. We let him go. We help him to go in the direction we want them to go. The first stage of subversion is the process which is called demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a society. This is the time sufficient to educate one generation, one lifetime span of a person, a human being, which is dedicated to study, to shaping up the outlook, ideology, personality. What it includes, in case of religion, destroy, ridicule it. Education, distract them from learning something which is constructive, pragmatic, power structure. The
Teach them
natural
to become
bodies of
activists.
administration are being actively substituted by artificial bodies whom nobody elected. One of such group is media. Who elected them? How come they have so much power? Almost monopolistic power on your mind. Okay, so this is what happens basically. It may or may not happen without the help of the Soviet Union, but the natural tendencies are being greatly taken advantage of and capitalized by the Soviet propaganda system. We would snow plow editorial offices, student organizations, religious groups with literature of class struggle, of the legitimate aspirations of working class, betterment of life, equality.
Equality.
Mind you, the next step is destabilization. To destabilize all the relations, all the accepted institutions and organizations in a country of your enemy. 10, 15, 20 years ago, we would be angry, say, why so much hatred? Today we are not. We say, well, commonplace. The media puts himself in the opposition to the society in general, at large. That's when the students are being sent back. They spring to action. The sleepers go up. Now they become leaders of groups, preachers. They actively include themselves in the political process. It's black against white, yellows against green, doesn't matter. As long as this group come into antagonistic clash, sometimes militarily.
That's what we have going on now.
Us
Us versus them and everything.
This stabilization process usually leads directly to the process of crisis. Here, we have all this artificial body claiming power. If the power is denied to them, they take it by force. The population at large is looking for a savior. We need some strong man, strong government, a leader. So we have two alternatives here: civil war and invasion. Civil war, we know what it is. Lebanon is the best example. The civil war, which was artificially implanted in Lebanon by injection of force of PLO, Palestinian Liberation Army. Invasion we have in many other countries like Afghanistan,
Palestinians causing problems
any
again.
East European country. It was
This was made in the 80s.
But the result is the same. The next stage is normalization. At that stage, the self-appointed rulers of the society don't need any revolution anymore. They don't need any radicalism anymore. So this is the reverse from destabilization. Basically, it is stabilizing the country by force. So all the sleepers and activists and social workers and liberals and homosexuals and professors and Marxists and Leninists are being eliminated physically sometimes. They've done their job already. The new rulers need stability to exploit the nation, to exploit the country, to take advantages of the victory. That's it. Thank you.
So that's, once the communists have taken power, they don't need the activists anymore. And the activists actually become dangerous to the regime. And that's why they're the first ones that get lined up against the wall and shot. It's what he called useful idiots. So now that they've taken power, they don't need the useful idiots anymore, and they eliminate them. It's just like the in Iran during the 1970s, the communists and the socialists worked with the Ayatollah, because the Ayatollah was using. I even showed some video where he's, we're gonna have free buses, free this, free that, free healthcare. We're gonna take care of everybody. So they use socialism to make a bunch of promises, and then once the mullahs took power, the communists found out real quick that the mullahs were not going to share power, and then they became a problem to the regime. And then the mullahs murdered about 30,000 of the communists and socialists that helped them take power in Iran for their trouble. Which, that's why the left always sides with the Islamists, because they see them as victim groups. They don't really understand their ideology, and so everybody in the left that say ultimately they're able to, the Islamists take power, the people on the left that help them get there will be the first ones that they execute.